So I'm not an entertainment blogger, right? But I really felt like I really need to touch base on this. I'm sure you guys have read the title of my message. So this is going to be more of a reaction video. So this show, right? I think it plays on there's this show, right? It plays on Mzansi Magic. It talks about, I can't really mention the name of the show because, like I said, I'm not really an entertainment blogger. So this is just my reaction on this show because I've watched this show for a few years now because I just wanted to understand what this thing is all about. I know, right? People, they do go back and refer to the Bible without actually reading in context what the Bible actually means. They just, assume, okay, they just assume that, oh, um, most there was this and this happened in the Bible, but it was not really a part of God's will. So I'm gonna go. My question is like, is polygamy biblical? It's a yes and it's a no. Yes, yes, polygamy it's biblical cause there are people in the Bible, there is certain people in the Bible who practice polygamy. However, it's not the kind of marriage or the type of marriage that glorifies God or pleases God, rather. So I'm not even gonna go and make examples of the Bible because I feel like people, they just pick whatever in the Bible to glorify or justify their sin, or you know to kind of make themselves feel better about whatever wrong they're doing. So let me just go back into the Bible. Okay. So in the Bible, right, there are people who practice polygamy. However, it's so hot. Let me just open the window. However, it's not the kind of relationship or marriage that pleases God. Cause if we go back to the New Testament now, because polygamy is mentioned in like the Old Testament, if you go to the New Testament where God talks about marriage, he says that a person should, in order to, if like, okay, I think the part where God talks about marriage is where he talks about, like, if you're about to appoint a deacon or someone in the leadership, so they must be married to one woman. So they must not be a part of his team. But that does not exclude like the rest of everyone who's not a part of leadership team or deacon. It does not exclude them, but that they can now do whatever. You know, but the reason being is because he knew the kind of, the consequences that come with having a polygamy, you know, that there's going to be conflict in your house. I don't think any of those wives in that show, they really, really, like, they really love each other, or they are really acceptant of whatever their husband has enforced them to do, because it's an enforcement. Because I don't think he really um cares or asks for the wife's permission, even though they always say the first wife has to, has to agree with the person that you're going to marry next, the person who's going to be part of the polygamy. But anyway, so it's those kind of things that cause conflict there will never be peace in your marriage if you are in that kind of relationship. And the men in the Bible, the reason why the men in the Bible were not like us, that, I'm saying the men, yes, the men in the Bible were not like the men today that they just gonna go outside and cheat on you. But they did it in a dignified way. They did it in a dignified way that, okay, cause I also like so and so from outside. Let me rather bring them inside so that I don't have to really cheat on my wife. So that's why there's so in polygamy is not a God thing, but it's a man-made thing. It's a man-made thing because also men wanted to find a reason to justify their sin, which is cheating, right? So if you are gonna end up going into if you are gonna end up going into that kind of relationship, just know that you are legally, or you are willingly going into an emotionally abusive relationship, because I don't see it happening any other way besides that other people they get to be the other people in that kind of relationship, they will get abused. So if the other people are being abused, then how does everyone else get along? So I don't see it out of the other people involved, whether it's the children, okay, most importantly, the wives, they never gonna get along. Cause how are you gonna get along among someone who's, cause this person is literally like your competition, they are your competition because you are competing for this man's attention with this other ladies or this other lady. So I just found that to be a little bit interesting. And so if you are also going to just, I think you need a heart of an elephant to be in such a relationship. Because also, remember, guys, that the reason, like, why God created marriage is so that we can have kids, so that we can have sex the legal way, so that we can have sex, the right way, So if you are in a polygamous marriage, then it means you, I don't, you have to divide yourselves, meaning the wives. You have to divide yourselves amongst this man who is selfish. You have to compete amongst yourself for this man who is selfish. I don't know. What do you guys think? Hey, I just find this, no, like, the way I view God, the way my God is, how I know God, there is no way God is pleased with such. Because God is someone who's loving, someone, I don't know how those wives, like, I don't know how they do it. You must really have a heart of an elephant, to survive in such a relationship. And then, yeah, I just remembered I was talking about sex. So if it's like the four of you guys, it means, okay, there's 4 weeks in a month. It means you only get to be intimate with your husband only once a month. What kind of marriage is that one? Yeah. What kind of relationship is that one? Because, I mean, the reason why God even went to the extent of creating marriage is because people were sexually immoral, and He was creating an environment for people to have sex in the right way. So I don't know. What do you guys think? This is crazy. Polygamy is crazy. And for me, if you're gonna opt to be in such a relationship, then I think I don't see it being anything more than you staying there for the money. But also, how much money do you have? Obviously, other people are gonna suffer for the money. Like, there's no way. How much money do you have? I mean, children are expensive on their own. Even a wife is more expensive than a child. So now, if you have four of them, and now you want to introduce like the fifth one, so now the rest of the members, I'm just gonna call them members just for fun. The rest of the numbers now, they need to accommodate this fifth member, which is now going to be getting more attention and more money, and in the beginning, I believe. So I don't think no, Istanbul is definitely not of God. It's definitely a man-made thing, and because some men are just greedy, they just want all the women to themselves, and they want to do it in a dignified manner, so they take them in. But now, what about the first wife or the second wife? Like, I know the other wives, the third, the second, and the third, and the whatever, they don't really have much of the say, from what I've heard. And the first wife has more of a say than the other wives. And I don't think, the guys were women. Which woman would want to share their man, especially like intimately, like with five, 4 or 5 women? Like, there's no way. So, but I just want to come back to a point that if you want to enter that kind of relationship, just know that you are willingly, you are a willing participant of an emotionally, is it physical as well? No, emotionally and financially abusive relationship. I don't think that is of God. But anyway, just let me know in the comment sections what you think.